I just heard about a crazy story that happened in my beloved city of Philadelphia, and I honestly can't believe it. Listen, in Philly, bad news comes and goes like a fart in the wind. It is really nothing new, but this one in particular is going viral at the moment, like right now, right as we speak. And it has to do with a married couple by the names of Danielle and Jordan Baxter. So just to give you guys a little background on the situation, the discovery happened early in the morning last Wednesday on the 19th when police found Jordan's body lying on a plastic sheet in between two parked cars with a gun resting on his chest. Now, this story is definitely a lot more, I guess, sad than the ones I normally post, which are silly and wacky and just a little ratchet. But I had to talk about this because it was just so close to home.
Tonight, a wife is accused of shooting and killing her husband. Philadelphia police say she tried to cover her tracks, but the investigation pointed to her as the suspect.
She has been arrested as investigators work to figure out why she allegedly pulled the trigger.
Monday night, I'm Shari Williams alongside Gray Hall. The big story on Action News tonight is a neighborhood stunned after a shocking murder.
An engineer for SEPTA is dead. His wife tonight in police custody after he was found in the street in the city's Andorra neighborhood.
Here at police headquarters, they're investigating this disturbing case of domestic violence as 3 children are left without their parents. Their father killed, their mother now behind bars.
This is such a crazy story. You know, like I said before, you know, this situation is very, very close to home because my own parents live pretty close to where this took place, and I have to tell you that this kind of thing doesn't happen in that area at all. Getting back to the story, so Danielle, the wife here, was arrested the very next day on Thursday, but prior to all of this happening, she wrote on her Facebook page, "These females out here be plotting on your marriage and waiting for your downfall so they can come right on in, and these men let them." So that was the last post that she made on social media. Now, just by looking at this, especially considering what she did to her husband, you know, this post definitely has a more sinister undertone to it now, right? It's a lot more bleak and a lot more grim sounding than, you know, even she possibly intended for it to be, or maybe, you know, who knows. And again, this was posted on the 14th. This was 5 days before she offed her husband.
We were shocked. We were totally shocked.
Total mayhem is how Andorra residents described the scene they woke up to on Wednesday morning.
10 cop cars, rescue, fire truck. It's a quiet street. That doesn't happen.
Philadelphia police say just before 7 a.m., officers responded to a report of a person screaming. When they arrived on Bells Mill Road, they found 38-year-old Jordan Baxter lying on a plastic sheet between 2 parked cars with a gun on his chest. Investigators discovered Baxter had been shot in the back of the head, and there was blood on a mattress inside the house. The next morning, 39-year-old Danielle Baxter was arrested and charged with murdering her husband.
Super nice family.
Neighbors who asked that we not show their faces say the couple has 3 children and were very friendly. Jordan Baxter worked as a SEPTA engineer for 14 years. SEPTA released a statement saying, "We're saddened by the tragic loss of Jordan Baxter, who was a veteran regional rail engineer. Our thoughts are with his loved ones at this difficult time."
This is such a sad story because it's one that didn't need to happen, obviously. Now, as of right now, this is obviously an active investigation and more information and details will be released. But just judging from the Facebook post on the 14th and then a previous status that was posted on the 5th of this month where she said, "I will be his peace if he's mine." Now, these statuses clearly haven't aged well, and they're not going to serve her well in front of a judge because of just the grim feeling behind it. And this will most likely be used in coming up with a motive for why she did what she did. There was, you know, some speculation of cheating going around on social media, but that hasn't been proven yet. We don't know if there was another woman involved, but what we do know is that there are 3 kids in the house that will not have a father or a mother in the house at all, because of the selfishness of one person.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. They have children. very nice.
A neighbor who shares a driveway with the Baxters says she was shocked that she never heard a gunshot.
I guess the way the houses are made, you hear children running up and down the steps, or music, no voices, ever.
Jordan Baxter's parents shared these photos with Action News and started a GoFundMe to help pay for his funeral.
I'm just sad, very sad.
And when I spoke with Jordan Baxter's parents, they tell me that they were too distraught to go on camera, but they're hoping that people will donate to that GoFundMe so that they can have the funeral that he deserves.
Here's where I need to get into some things, okay? Because as this news is spreading and once the news hit, all the news outlets and the blogs and social media, Jordan's friends and family and co-workers and people that knew him came out to express their sorrows and give their condolences to his family. And from everything I've seen, this man was a great father, hardworking, funny, and just an all-around great friend and someone to be around. I even saw people who went to college with the both of them because they went to the same college together, right? So they said that they were everyone's favorite couple and that they were perfect for each other. But everything that glitters ain't gold, because on the flip side, while everyone is mourning the loss of Jordan, there are those few who I can only imagine are Danielle's friends and family who are coming out of the woodworks trying to defend essentially the indefensible. And they're trying to whittle away at the actions of Danielle and try to rationalize her ending her husband's life. From what is being put out there on social media, apparently Danielle lost her twin sister recently and was allegedly going through some marital problems with Jordan. Now, obviously, losing a family member is very difficult for anyone to deal with. And I know the pain that comes with losing people that you care about. Everyone grieves in different ways. I truly understand that. But having marital problems, right? And this is coming from a married man. Having marital problems is no reason to end your partner's life and leave your kids with no father and no parents at all because you wanted to have a moment. You felt like this was, some get back, or you felt like, if I can't have them, nobody can type of stuff. And, listen, we all go through hard times. It's life, right? Everybody has something going on. But to just off your husband like this is crazy. There's absolutely no justification for it. But another thing that I find truly disgusting, and I really do mean that word, like disgusting, okay? When it comes to these types of horrible domestic situations, are the double standards and differences in how these stories are handled, depending on the gender of the victim or the suspect. And listen, I don't want to make this, a gender war. I truly don't, but I see this way too often. And I honestly want to understand why. And I just really want to pick some brains because it just doesn't make any sense to me. For example, if Jordan were the one that, committed this horrible tragedy, the timeline will want this man to be buried underneath the jail, throw away the key, throw the entire book at him. How could he do this to his family? How could a man do this to his wife, etc., etc.? But what I'm seeing is, from a decent amount of people, is a lot of excuse making and hand holding and essentially defending this horrible act that this woman created by folks saying things like, that's why you can't play with people's hearts, or hey, she was having marital problems, or the most egregious one, oh, he must have been cheating. Basically saying these things to try and excuse the heinous tragedy that Danielle committed, trying to soften the blow, so to speak. And I see all this stuff just way too often when it comes to these horrible situations. And I notice the differences in approach when it's a man who does it versus a woman. I just need to know the reasoning behind it. That's all. If you guys know, please comment below. Like, this is a serious question. Like, why is it that when a horrible and demonic chick like this does something this horrible, the response is that everyone needs to give grace and be open-minded and not rush to judgment, when that is literally what is done when the other side is guilty or not. Just wild. I just want an even playing field. That's all, right? Because tragedy is tragedy, and a horrible cases like this are exactly that. Horrible cases. But anyway, there is no immediate answer for the motive for this tragedy right now. Like I said, this is an active investigation, but Danielle will have another hearing in April, and she is facing some serious charges, including murder and abuse of a corpse. Now, the abuse of a corpse charge in the state of Pennsylvania is classified as a misdemeanor of the second degree, meaning, you know, it carries a less severe penalty than a felony. But that murder charge, if that's in the first degree, which I don't know how this could be anything other than first degree, the penalty for this is either life without parole or the death penalty. And if I know how these types of cases go, she might try and plead insanity. I have no idea at the moment, but this is a very sad situation. You know, the family has created a GoFundMe where the family has raised over $24,000. And again, just a very fucked up story, very fucked up situation to have to, you know, put out there. But if this was over a woman and if they in fact did have marital issues and that was the reason, like nothing else, no abuse or anything like that, but just an act of jealousy from this woman, wow. That's all I can say. It's just wow. But anyway, let me know what you think about this situation down below, man. Let me know what you think about this wild story. I just want to hear your thoughts. Also, if you made it this far, I really rock with you. Don't forget to smack a like on the video, and don't forget to become a channel member, and don't forget to subscribe for the one time. Peace out.